I'm going to use this cardboard to help clean my stove out. All right, what's going on, friends? In this video, I'm going to be doing one of my most favorite jobs that I just love to do throughout the heating season is cleaning my pellet stove. I'm going to show you, I don't know, I think I have about 5 or 6 different things that I'm going to clean. I'm not doing a full cleaning on this Harmon Pellet Stove. This is just what I think is the most important parts to clean throughout the season. And this should help keep your pellet stove running efficient. Should also help keep your pellet stove from breaking down. You cannot run these pellet stoves and never clean them. Depending on how hard you run it through the season, you probably should at least clean this thing maybe after every ton of pellets. Maybe at least clean it once throughout the season, maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the season. I know some people clean these things like every week. I'm just going to show you what I think is the most important parts to clean so you can keep this thing running efficient and it won't break down on you. These are some of the tools I'm going to use. I'm going to use probably a dustpan just to sweep it out a little bit. I got a pair of vice grips, or maybe a pair of pliers would work. I got a 5/16 inch socket. Get yourself a nice pair of white gloves so they'll look black when you're done. No, just joking. Just get maybe a pair of gloves. And I did make this piece right here. You'll see what I use this for in the video. It's a little piece of wood, and this is 2.5 by 2 3/16 of an inch when you see me use that. And I might even use this nail a little bit. You have to play with, I'm not really sure what the diameter of this nail is, but you'll see what I use that for. And I just saved this old paintbrush that I use every time I clean this out. Then you're gonna need a vacuum, a shop vac or something. Now I recommend if you do use like a shop vac like this with a plastic, it's all plastic, this thing can catch on fire, so be very careful. Make sure there's nothing really flammable down inside this, and also make sure you let your pellet stove cool down. I ran out of pellets, so I think it's been off for a good 3-4 hours probably. And I figured this was a good time for me to clean this out. But you gotta make sure this is cooled down. You don't want to have, you don't want, like down in your burn pot, you don't want to have a bunch of hot coals, so it could catch something on fire in this. Unless you're using a shop vac that has a metal container, just be careful. I've never ever had anything catch on fire, and I've tried using the ones that have metal containers, but unless you guys know, I never liked them. They didn't ever seem like they had very good suction, so I ended up still using my big rigid vacuum. All right, let me get into this. I'm gonna try to make this as quick and as fast as possible for you guys. All right, another thing I'm gonna use in this video, which I've never done before, but I think it's definitely gonna help, is this piece of cardboard. I'm gonna use this cardboard to help clean my stove out. Oh, and you may want a dust mask. I'll put a link down in like my first comment, right down in my description, at the end of this video of other videos that you could watch to help keep this thing running really good. Now, if your ash pan is completely full, you may want to dump that first, but I dumped mine, I don't know, a week ago. Now I'm gonna go over here and we are gonna go in here. You can either put this on test. I don't really want to mess with that, so I'm not gonna put it on test. If you put it on test, it will run some of the fans and it keeps some of your dust down. Or you could do like I've done in the past, because I kind of have that set nice. If you unplug it and just plug it back in, sometimes that turns your fans on. Hopefully they'll stay running. Now we can go inside here, just brush some of this stuff off. Brush this out with my old paintbrush. You could brush your heat exchanger off too with this paintbrush while it's cooled down. See, if you keep that fan on, it kind of sucks all that dust out. Just brush on top of them bricks. This is just a quick cleaning. There's a lip right here. You can stick your finger in here. Just run across that lip. It's going to build right back up anyway, but that's all good. That's something I like to clean almost every time I check my pellet stove. I will scrape that out and scrape my burn pot. Now I'm just going to get in here and scrape this burn pad out a little better. You can take this little, I forget what they call it, like a little heat shield here. Take this off if you want. You want to Scrape that off, check it out a little bit. Just set that aside. Scrape your burn pot out. See that big chunks of carbon buildup in that. So I'm going to get them big chunks out. And you don't have to get that probably perfect. Scrape the sides of it. Suck that out. It's not too bad. All right, that is what my burn pot looks like. It's probably not perfect, but good enough. Now all these little holes here, you gotta make sure those are cleaned out. If you've never cleaned them, it's gonna take you a little while now, but that's gonna, air blows through them, and I think it might even have a little bit to do with lighting it too, or helping it get lit. Your igniter is inside the burn pot, so you gotta keep this thing cleaned out. So that's where I like to take this little nail I have, and I will go through and I just poke down each one of them holes. Just be careful, don't go too far. I think the igniter is right around here. You don't want to really poke in there real hard and ruin your igniter. I think you'll be able to see that when I take the bottom cover off. So just check these holes. Mine don't seem too bad. I would go through all of them. See, that one's a little bit clogged up. I would go through probably all of them and check them. It might not hurt to actually have a light too. The holes are pretty good. I like to, every time I scrape my burn pot out every day, I just kind of tap on that a little bit. I think it helps keep these holes cleaned out. Since I'm going to dump this ash pan here at the end, I might as well take all these ashes that are built up on the sides and pull that down. It's really easy to do. I'm not going to get crazy because in another couple days it'll be built right back up. Let's put this cover back on so I don't forget. That's it in there. Now we're going to open up where the ash pan is at. Pull this out. I don't use my shop vac to suck all this dust out. You guys can do that if you want, but it's going to clog your filter up in your shop vac really fast. All right, now we're going to go in under the burn pot. There's a little door right here. You got to take these two little wing nuts, loosen them up. You might need your pliers to loosen them. See, that one's tight. There we go. Just loosen them up. You don't have to take them all the way out. See all that dust coming out of there? You take this door off. You can brush that off if you want. This is where I'm going to use my piece of cardboard. I'm going to take this little door. When you see what I'm going to do, you might be able to use this. So I think I'm going to take these all the way out. Just don't lose them. I think it'll hurt. I normally don't do this. I think it's going to make it easier for what I'm going to show you. So now I'm going to take my shop vac. Now you're going to see why I cut that hole there. Your shop vac may be different, or whatever vacuum you're using. I'm going to put it in that little hole, something like that. And I'm going to put that right inside that hole. And then I'm going to turn my shop vac on. Just like that. See that? Causing a good suction on there. Then I'm going to cover these holes up in the top of the burn pot. You can feel the suction coming through them holes. Yeah, that works good. Maybe tap on it a little. You have to keep that cleaned out because that's where your igniter is. Like I told you, it's going to make your igniter work harder and harder and harder if you just let that stay full of all that ashes. Oh yeah, it's nice and clean in there. Now I don't feel nothing. That's good. I think that cardboard really works good. You will see in my other video, if you don't want to do that cardboard thing, which was really easy though, is I will cover the top up and I will stick my shop vac in there, and I just try to cover this up with my hand. Put this cover back on, put these back in there. I kind of believe that inside that burn pot and the piece that I'm going to show you here in the back is two of the most important things you got to clean out, and then maybe blowing the exhaust out. I'm going to show you how I blow my exhaust out. Brush this off just a little bit. You don't have to get too crazy in here unless you want. You can clean this all out, maybe with your paintbrush and your dustpan. I probably will sweep some of this out, but I really don't think this hurts it, other than it might blow out the exhaust. All right, now I got to turn this off a sec. We're going to take our pliers. I'm going to hook them on here. Now, this piece here may be down here, but you see I never shut it all the way. So, I'm going to clamp onto that. And just turn it out of the way. You might have to get a hammer to tap on that. All right, then you can take this piece here off. All right, right in here is where we're going to blow out. This is where I'm going to use my little piece of wood that I made on my shop vac. Now for me to do this part right here on my shop vac, or my rigid, whatever you want to call this is where it sucks. So this is the sucker. This is the blower. So you got to pull that out of the sucker and put it in the blower, or it's not going to blow. And then when you're done blowing, make sure you don't forget to take it out of the blower and put it in the sucker. I guess I'd have to say the most important part is make sure you don't forget to turn it back around, because I've done that before. And then you just blow dust all over your whole room, and that sucks. Or that blows, whatever you want to call it. Now you're watching me. I'm going to take this little piece of wood, put it on my little piece on my shop vac, and that goes in here. Like, sometimes it's kind of tricky. I can get it in there. Just be careful. There we go. Just careful of these fins on your exhaust fan right there. That we're gonna kind of brush that off too with the paintbrush. I'm just gonna stick that in there like that, and I have it on blower. Now I'm going to turn my shop vac on, and I'm going to blow out my exhaust. Seems like the dust stops blowing. You probably need somebody outside to watch your exhaust. It won't take that long. While I'm doing that, I might take this, because it's wooden, and I'm going to tap on my exhaust pipe. I'll show you that here, and I'll show you how I'm just tapping on that. It kind of helps break up all the dust that's in your exhaust. All right, I got to take this piece off. And then set that aside. Maybe you can tap it out, get all that junk out of it. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. All right, now I'm going to turn this on and just tap right here. That's why you want to use something wooden. And that's probably about it. All right, then when you're done, just make sure you put this back on, or whatever you guys got. I love this chore. All right, ugh, yuck. Now my pretty white snow's a mess, that's it. Very important, like I said, don't forget to take it off the blower. Put it on the sucker. Now I'm going to, I don't think it hurt for a second, just turn it on the suction side. And kind of suck a little bit of that out. There we go. And I have a nice little brush. A little brush I can put on the end here. Like that. And I can take it, clean my fan off a little. A little easier to do when you don't have a camera in front of it. Be careful you don't bend them fins. Looks good to me. I'm going to put this cover back on. Like that. Tap that over. And then if you want to get real crazy, you can put your big nice metal dustpan there and sweep it out a little. Real gently, or you're going to make a big dusty mess. You could turn this back on, like I showed you. If you do it real slow, not bad. That's good enough. Dump that in my ash pan. All right. You can put your ash pan back in or go dump it outside. I'm not dumping mine right now. All right. Shut that. All finished in there. And you can clean your glass off if it's nice and cooled down too. What is the best way to keep that glass nice and clean for the longest time? If you guys know that, throw that down in the comments, because I've never really figured it out. All right, now one last thing to clean out, and then you can turn that sucker back on and get some heat back in your house. All right, now we're gonna go, if you're looking at your stove, you gotta go to the right side. All right, right here, we have to take this door off. There is a 5/16 inch little screw there, one there. All you have to do is loosen them two, and there's one right here at the top. That one you have to take completely out. So many people do not know to clean this out. Crazy. Loosen that one. Loosen that one. Take this one out. Don't lose your little screw. And this pulls out like that, comes off. Really, really simple. Then right up inside here. Now right here, this little wing nut, right up inside there, you gotta go up inside that. You loosen that wing nut like that. And push, there's a little metal door here. Just push up on it. There we go. See all that stuff? I call that the fines compartment. Fines compartment. I don't know. I guess that's how you say it. All right. Probably don't need gloves on for this. It's not that dirty back here. Just a lot of dust. Now, take your shop vac and vacuum it out. On this cover, there's a little hole at the top, and then the bottom has this little spot that goes where that wing nut is. You gotta make sure this little hole goes over that little tab, because if not, you'll throw your pellet stove into a fault, and it'll give you a fault code. So I'll try to show you this. I can't show you that tab at the top, but you just gotta put that in there. I don't even look up there anymore. And you stick it over it, and then you slide it down over. If you wanna help you could probably loosen this way up more. You don't have to take it all the way off, but there we go. I can feel that tab coming through that hole at the top. That's what you want to feel. And tighten that up like that, because if you don't have that tight, it will throw a fault code. I think while you're back here, it can't hurt. Now I have this little brush. I like this brush. I'm going to vacuum out, like, this is that's my blower motor. That's the one that's going to blow the air into the room. I think that's what that motor is, yes. I like to just vacuum up inside here. I don't know if that really does, but I feel like it helps keep some of that dust out of that motor to hopefully make that motor last a little longer. So let me do that. There we go. That's it. And there is, if you never watched any of my other videos, there's another little probe on the end of these little red wires that I end up taking out at the end of the season and cleaning. So you may want to watch one of them videos. All right, now cover back on. Slide it over. Slides over these two. Totally tighten them two up. Maybe easier to put this top one in. It's kind of a don't tighten it all up real tight. I don't think you need to put any of this stuff in really tight. Not these screws anyway. Just a couple little clicks. A couple little clicks. There we go. All right, that's it. That's the end of this video. I hope that helped you out, keeping your pellet stove running, keeping it more efficient. If you just do a little cleaning on this thing a couple times a year and a real good cleaning at the end of the year, I will put a link to that video at the end of this video and down in my description and in my first comment. I must have like, I don't know, 13, 14, maybe 20 videos. I don't remember. I have videos on changing out the door seal on this. I have videos of changing out my igniter, video changing out the burn pot, and like 4 or 5 different cleaning videos on the same Harmon pellet stove. So it's really been a really good pellet stove. Keeps this 2,000 square foot house warm, warmer than I need it to be if I want to turn it way up. And I do also have a video on hooking a thermostat I have a thermostat for this in my living room, and it keeps this running. I can set this at like 73, 74 degrees, and it keeps my living room at 73, 74 degrees. And my living room is above me. The only room that stays really warm is this room that's in it. I cut a couple holes through my floor, and all my heat goes upstairs, but all my other rooms in my house stay really nice. So if you want to watch a video on me hooking that thermostat up, now I don't know if you can still buy that same exact thermostat, but I'm sure there's many thermostats out there you could buy to do the same thing. So if this video helped you out, give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Put anything down there you want. Just put down there, my beard looks good. I don't care. It helps me out a lot here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button to help support this channel. God bless and stay warm.